king and his men stole the queen from her bed and bound her in her bones. The seas be ours, and by the powers where we will we roam. Yo-ho, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave-ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with the keys to the cage and the devil to pay. We lay to fiddler's grave. Yo-ho, all hands, hoist the colors high.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ma'am. Every day is a new learning. On behalf of Bonus Pampor, I welcome all of you present here, and I extend a heartfelt welcome to Chairman, BML Welfare Trust, Mr. A.A. Meehan, General Secretary, BML Welfare Trust, Mr. G.M. Lone, Mr. Raja Muzaffar. He is an activist and columnist. He is also the Managing Trustee of Center for Conservation of Culture and Heritage. Mr. G.M. Varsa, who is the President of Private Schools Association and Chairman Coaching Centers Association. We have with us an expert today. I would like all of you to have a big round of applause for Dr. Dr. Anuny Chaubey is the Provost of Anant National University, India's first design university, imparting education in the fields of architecture, design, sustainability, climate action, culture, and several liberal arts disciplines. He is a well-known artist and academic in the fields of literature and art history. Mr. Anuny Chaubey, he's here for the interaction with all of us here on design thinking. Since we know that today's age is the age of technology, it is the age of technology, and it is very important to know its scopes, to know where it can land us. One who does not know, who is not aware about design thinking, about technology, is considered to be an illiterate in the times now. Plus, Mr. Dr. Chaubey, he has a PhD in English literature. A big round of applause for that. I would like to call Principal Ma'am so that she has a few words with us here and she welcomes Dr. Anuny Chaubey on the stage. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Mushki.
Thank you,
ma'am. It was, I can say, a very small and a very deep and complete introduction of Dr. I would like to add only one thing. There is no ending to learning. Every day we learn different things, but it's a pleasure to have sir here with us. Because it's not a very normal day, as I said. You know, you can see different people coming here every second day, giving their own thought process. But sir has its own vision. You know, there's a concrete vision. And we want to talk about concrete vision. I always say only one tagline. That is, If there is no practical approach of life, learning, outcome, there is no learning. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Thank you so much, God साहब कि आप भी आ गए, लोन साहब, मीर साहब, आपका भी एक कहवे पे वो हो गया, what you saw में गुफ्तगू हो जाएगी. So it's more like a candid conversation. Sir, I would like to just express my gratitude at the same time that I have cultivated and sown these seeds with love, with care, without any barrier. There is nothing called principal and student. We are friends. They can share anything with me, be it personal, be it academic, be it their family lives. And I've tried my level best, and I've always created that and cultivated that environment among the students from nursery till grade 10, that they are my own kids. So this conversation is also like a coffee with sir. So it's more or like a candidate. You can ask questions, you can clear your things, maybe you want to learn and unlearn certain things. So there is learning, relearning and unlearning, which I always say, and there is no means of it. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to welcome Chairman, BML Welfare Trust, AME sir, and General Secretary, BML Welfare Trust, GM Malone, on stage for the felicitation ceremony. Now I request Provost sir and Nisar sir to come up on the stage for the celebration of Baba and Raj sir. Thank you, Raj. Now I would like to welcome Dr. Anuny on stage, Chaubey, on stage for the interaction with all of us here.
Well, I think, I would still use the mic. That would put less strain on my throat. So, thank you for this opportunity, and I think it's a great honor for me to be here amongst Mr. Noam, Mr. Mir, and principal here who have been such stalwarts in the field of education, and of course the kind of bond that you as students have with everybody. Such an honor, so thank you for that. My name has been a little troublesome. I used to think that it was my first name that people had trouble with. So my first name is Anuny, but it gets very interestingly, pronounced as Anunya, Anuny, and then I've also got a mail from somebody who addressed me as Dear Dr. Anoy. Right? And quite a few of my friends did agree with that. So far as the surname is concerned, it has also been treated very innovatively, in different ways. Dr. Chaubey, Dr. Chavi, Dr. Chaubey, right? But this was a new one, Started out with Dubey, then, ended up with a Pandey. It makes me feel new each time. But the thing is, with names, you're never one person. And that is something that I like to share with everybody, not just my students, because I'm a student myself. I don't like to look at myself as somebody who is here to teach or train. And I'm sure that's how every educator should be looking at oneself. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm also learning. I'm sure that I will learn something from you. So the point was that no one is ever just one person, right? You are not just a scientist, you are not just a teacher, you are not just a sport person, you are not just a musician, you are not just a filmmaker. Right? There are so many dimensions, there are so many aspects, there are so many facets to you. right? So I'm a Chaubey, I'm a Pandey, I'm an Anuny, I'm a Anuny, I'm a Chaubey. But that's who I really am, right? I'm not just somebody who's studied English literature or has a... Yeah, so I'm not just somebody who has studied English literature or has a PhD. I'm a musician, I paint a little, I've been a cricket player, I represented the university. I play chess, I write, I have been a journalist, right? I'm an animator, I have studied anthropology, sociology, economics, philosophy, right? And these are some of the topics or subjects that I teach across the world, not just here. So there are so many things that you are, right? Always believe in that. You would have so many interests, right? Don't let just one interest limit your potential to learn much more, become much more, right?
Yes, sir.
So, how many of you, for instance, are into music? I know you're all students, so that is one definition. Music. Into, say, sports. Into writing, literature. See, innovation, any other, something that is creative, right? So you are creative people, that's the other dimension, aspect to you. Do you know what is creativity and innovation? What is creativity? How would you define creativity?
So to develop something out of the box.
Excellent. Develop something out of the box. Right?
Yes, sir.
Create something that didn't exist earlier, something new.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Super.
Yes.
Huh?
Mango to mango shake.
Mango shake.
Mango to mango shake.
See, mango to mango shake.
Mango shake, correct.
Yeah. Great, yes. Innovation. Mango to mango shake? Still. Right? So you innovate, you create something new, and this innovation will only happen if you can think out of the box. You can think of something that does not exist at this point in time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you are not being creative, what you are doing? You're only following what is already being followed by everyone. And there could be at this point in time a problem, a situation, a context. And this is what we have been discussing. So there are these challenges, there are these problems that we are all faced with. That is how it exists. But we need to innovate. We need to come up with a solution that will address or solve this problem. And this particular approach to solving problems brings me to something I'm sure you have heard of, the word design. What is design? So creativity, innovation, design.
To frame something.
To
Frame something.
create,
Frame something.
frame something, yeah, partly right. But it doesn't really answer the whole question. अरे आपको पता है, घबराइए मत, सोचिए मत. By the way, so in connection with this, I'd just like to tell you something. Never be afraid of failing. Never be afraid of getting something wrong. ऐसा लगता है डर अंदर कि कुछ गलत ना हो जाए, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Don't do that. If you get something wrong, that's only the first step towards you really finding out.
Yes.
If you don't say something, if you don't ask questions, if you pretend to know, you would forever remain a stupid person. But if you ask, if you get it wrong and get it right, then you would forever remain somebody who got it, who understood, who knows.
Yes.
तो पूछ लीजिए ताकि आपको बार बार घबराना ना पड़े. And never worry about failing. And so only when something, a calculation goes wrong, that you try again and then you get it right. That is what life is all about. Coming back, what is design?
So to put life into something that you've already created.
It's very philosophical. To put life into something that you...
Already created.
Okay, that would be alchemy, that would be magic, right? Okay, but it's about creation, right? What you're talking about, what you say, are telling me is that you put life into it, that is, you animate it, you make it do something, right? Any other thought? No, I'm asking this because design, and I'm forcing you to think about it.
To
Design,
To modify something into something new.
to modify something into something new. Partly correct, absolutely. So all three of you, I think I have had three definitions of it, three
So
attempts.
to make a strategy about something.
Excellent. Now just add these things together.
Strategy.
So it's not random, it's not just creative, it's not just about breathing life into something. It's about coming up or out of the box, something that you mentioned earlier. It's got to be a creative, something, a new paradigm, a new approach, a creative approach, a structured and what was the word? Strategically deployed approach to problem solving. And that would be breathing life or solving a problem. So that is what design is. Design has traditionally been misunderstood, by common people as being something which beautifies something. If you are painting, बच्चा क्या कर रहा है? Design करता है. Design देखिए कौन किसने design किया. So we limit its import, right? Elsewhere, design is a big discipline of in education, designing solutions, and it's a discipline that's bigger than any other discipline. Than say the three disciplines that you would after you finish your board exams, then you move for your higher secondary +2. The three choices that you have to study three subjects or three disciplines are, what are the three options? Science, humanities and commerce. Design combines all three. So design, in order to, before I get to, say the fourth possible option that you may have, which is design. For your higher secondary, you could pick up design. Now, so we have settled with what design is. Problem solving, a well-structured, organized, strategically deployed, approach to solving a problem. It brings me now to something which I'm sure could be integrated, if not in the curriculum here or in other schools, but in the activities that we carry out at schools. Or just think about it, a debate club, or when you are writing, or when you are playing an instrument, when you are thinking of, a startup. You know what a startup is?
Yes.
Right? So, how does it come into being, this process of solving a problem? So it's called, there's a certain way of thinking. You need to start thinking in a certain way. And it's not a kind of thinking that is very usual or a kind of thinking that is encouraged at other schools. Right? The usual approach to thinking that is encouraged at other schools would be to train students to get enough marks
To pass the
and graduate, pass, and get yourself a job. Right?
Yes, sir.
That is not the way of design thinking. The purpose of education is to strengthen you, empower you enough for you to be able to solve problems. All around us here in Kashmir and elsewhere too, there are problems and problems. Globally, there are problems.
Yes.
All kinds of problems. Problems that are wicked. Right? They're very difficult, complex problems, very difficult to solve. Right? And it would need a lot of creative thinking. It would require a lot of critical thinking. Right? For you to come together and solve those problems. And that should be the end of education. Objective of education. And it has to start with design thinking. So what is this process of thinking? So this process of thinking, if you were to do your research, you'll find that there are 5 steps to it. Right? I add a couple of extra steps. So the first step traditionally is empathy. You know what empathy is? Empathy क्या होता है?
To love someone more than you love yourself.
हाँ, ठीक जोर से बोलो.
Sir, to love someone more than you love yourself.
To love someone more than you love yourself could be, but it is not about more or less. It's about being able to understand or sympathize. Huh?
Others feelings.
Absolutely. So if you are in pain, if you are hungry, I would be able to empathize because I have experienced hunger. If I have not experienced hunger, then I will not know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So that is empathy, to be able to understand the pain, the suffering, of others, like it was your own.
Yes, sir.
Right? That is what you meant. Right? So that is the first thing, the ability to empathize. Right? So this is where I add something, and I add a step ahead of empathy. So you will not be able to empathize if you...
Have experienced yourself.
Amazing. Which class are you?
10.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
This is a higher grade we have.
अरे आपने तो कमाल कर दिया भाई, छोटे छोटे नन्हे मुन्ने बच्चे लगे I was thinking, what's your name?
Me?
मगर सबसे पूछना होगा, तो छोड़ दो नाम मत बताओ. I was thinking that this perhaps is class 7th or seriously. Amazing, yes. So you won't be able to empathize if you do not have that bank of experience. That's the most important thing. Now, how do you get experience? Now, all of this, by the way, what I'm doing is design thinking. I'm asking questions. To experience कहाँ से है?
Sir, by engaging in the activity.
Excellent activity. कैसी activities?
Sir, creative. It's a creative act.
Creative. ये बात हो रही है experience बढ़ाने की और experience बनाने की. हाँ?
Sir, by observing the conditions of the people of that kind.
Super.
By making mistakes.
अरे कोई और माइक नहीं है उधर? एक निकाल दो बच्चों के लिए.
So by making mistakes.
By making mistakes, that will be a part of experience making. Excellent. And I think all of you have said the right thing. You create experiences by connecting with people,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
By, interacting with the community and not just staying within a tight circle of, your own society or your family. So if there are people who are very affluent, if there are people who live in big cities, right, and don't interact with anyone else, do you think they would have complete empathy?
No, sir.
Because a rich person has never understood or experienced the
The
problems, the
support,
challenges, of others. Somebody who's lived in a city, and always flies around or has big cars, will not understand the problems of common people living in the same city.
Yes, sir.
So you need to build your experience through connecting with the community. Right? So these are the two steps that I would add to proceed, that will come ahead. Empathy. मिलिए, जानिए, उनके साथ रहिए, बातचीत कीजिए. और अमूमन होता क्या है, और पूरे देश में होता है हमारे यहाँ, बच्चों के साथ, the parents, what would they do? Don't go out, don't meet them, don't talk to them.
Yes.
Right? And what happens eventually?
We don't give
Children grow up without.
experience.
So somebody in Mumbai will not manage or ever get to make friends with somebody in Pulwama. छोटी सी जगह, शहर का बच्चा गांव के बच्चे को नहीं जान पाएगा. इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट का बच्चा कभी नहीं समझ पाएगा कि जो किसान है उसका जीवन कैसा है.
Yes, sir.
Right? So the first thing is to connect, and not as a खेलने ही में, खेल में, और ये जुड़ाव होना चाहिए. So community immersion is one. and it makes you human. Only humans can have empathy,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
So design then starts in humanity, design thinking, right? So you empathize, and then you meet people or visit a place and you identify a problem. कि यहाँ तो लोग बहुत दुबले पतले हैं, हड्डियाँ निकली हुई हैं, क्या प्रॉब्लम? So maybe they're not talking about it, but it will strike you because you can understand the pain. And they tell you that there has been a drought. ये हुआ empathy. Now empathy we actually worked on a script, so we practiced. इधर 10 मिनट के बाद खांसने लगूंगा तो आप पानी की बोतल का ढक्कन खोल के मुझे बोतल लगाएंगे.
So that will make us.
No, I'll keep it. Thank you. So that is identification of
The problem.
a problem. So empathy, identification of a problem. Now you have identified it. What do you think will be the next step?
Work on the problem.
Huh?
To understand the problem and work on the problem.
To find a solution.
आप लोग यहाँ पढ़ाई कर रही हैं क्या? डिजाइन थिंकिंग की पढ़ाई हो रही है क्या?
Yes,
सब
not
जानते ही हैं
exactly,
बच्चे.
because we do brainstorming every Friday, every Saturday. Like
तो बड़ी
yeah, we
कमाल
do.
की brainstorming हुई.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely right. So third thing will be for you to ideate.
Yes, yes.
So community / human, identification of a problem, empathy, identification of a problem, and then the next step is for you to ideate over the problem. Try to understand the problem. And how would you ideate? Research कीजिएगा, दूसरों से बात कीजिएगा, कोशिश कीजिएगा ये समझने की कि क्या ये प्रॉब्लम इसी रीजन का है या दूसरी जगह भी है, दूसरी जगह का है तो लोगों ने कैसे उसके साथ,
Causes of the attack.
right? So you ideate what happened. It could be malnutrition, it could be a health issue, it could be a transport issue, it could be a curriculum issue, it could be any issue. So you ideate and you ideate together. After the that was the fourth step. The fifth step then is after you have ideated, what do you do?
Work on it.
Work on it.
Yes,
Find a solution.
Find the solution.
Find the solution. मगर उसके पहले भी तो कुछ आएगा. Ideation के बाद क्या आता है?
The reasons.
Great. But these are not the reasons. What is the other word? If you have studied, earlier this morning, I had a reference to scientific method. हाँ बोलो.
First, we make the alternative options to solve the problem.
Alternative options to solve the problems. Super, excellent. Is there one word for that? One word for that? Yes.
Prototyping the solution, I think.
No, prototyping is comes at the end.
Designing, sir.
All of this is designing. Yeah. So what?
Innovation.
Huh?
Innovation.
Innovation का सिलसिला शुरू होगा. ये सारा
Sir,
innovation
discussion
का
on the
part
problem.
Create a strategy.
Discussion on the problem.
Discussion is ideation. Once you have ideated, malnutrition है, यहाँ लोग ऐसा है, वो हड्डियाँ निकली हुई हैं, बहुत कमजोर लगते हैं लोग. काफी आप लोगों ने थिंकिंग किया, रिसर्च किया कि हाँ ये खाने में क्या खाते हो, तो वो सड़ी गली चीजें मिल जाती हैं. उसके बाद क्या होगा? जो भी आपने रिजल्ट्स आए, you come up with a hypothesis. Hypothesis, you know what hypothesis is?
परिकल्पना.
परिकल्पना. Okay, उसमें थोड़ा सा स्टम्प है इसलिए I'm not saying. But hypothesis is a possible and plausible answer to that solution problem. हो सकता है. It's only a hypothesis. सूरज पूरब में उगता है, पश्चिम में. There was this car that Tata's made. जो यहाँ पर है सबसे छोटी गाड़ी, सबसे सस्ती गाड़ी, वो क्या था? They made a European version of it. It became so popular. This was Europa. So there are many such innovations, and these are the solutions that become the prototype. तो आपने ये दवा निकाल ली, आपने कुछ इनोवेट कर दिया प्रोडक्ट, एंड यू आर अ डिजाइन स्टूडेंट. अब आप क्या करेंगे? एग्जाम पास करके नौकरी खोजेंगे.
Yes, sir.
But what do you think you should be doing? Because it's your invention, it's your innovation.
Test it.
Huh?
Test it.
Test it. You test it. You've got the prototype. It's been tested.
We'll start. So start it.
Startup. Then you are not looking for a job.
When
You are
Creating jobs.
you're creating jobs. This is what we do at Anant National University. This is what design thinking is all about. It keeps you, it helps you develop your creative abilities, it helps you develop your critical thinking abilities, right? It helps you connect with the community, it helps you solve problems, that are local and global, and whatever it is that you have innovated, you could, take it forward, take it further, create jobs for others, employment for others, apart from making impact. So we have startups, we have incubators, we have entrepreneurship, and that is the logical conclusion. So all of these are the steps that are included in the way we look at things, the way we think. Community, identification of a problem, empathy, ideation, hypothesis, experimentation, prototyping, setting up your own work. That is the conclusion. Right? It's not about scoring marks. Of course you do that. You are going to excel at whatever you are doing. You're going to be great at whatever it is that you're doing, but the focus is different. And now we don't really have a lot of time. The way the world is changing, right? We have maybe 15 years. Right? That I hope you're aware that by 2040, the scientists all over the world have figured out or have informed us that there'll be no fresh water.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now just think about it. No fresh water. And what we are doing at Anant, among many projects that we have, we are also working on desalination. Desalination not at an industrial scale. Desalination at a domestic level. How can we use a sustainable, way of getting drinking water out of seawater? That is what education is all about now. The jobs are going, the world is changing very fast. Jobs as they exist today will perhaps not be there tomorrow. So you have to be very alert. What are you preparing for? Schools have to be very alert. You have ChatGPT and AI, and it's all changing. Each day it's changing. I remember, 2 months back, there used to be these warnings that use ChatGPT very carefully because it gives you wrong information at times. But now the information from the ChatGPT or these LLMs and search engines that you get are impeccable. You are not getting anything wrong.
Yes.
तो आप समझ जाइए कितनी नौकरियां चली जाएंगी. You have to upskill, you have to reskill, you have to learn new things, you have to understand your world better, you have to find these challenges that only humans can solve with the help of technology, including artificial intelligence. So this is essentially what you are all trying to do. This is what your school is trying to do. But you need to stay very alert, you need to stay very creative, you need to stay very, rational all the time. That's what critical thinking is. So this is all that I have to tell you. If there are any questions that you have, please do ask. You can also reflect. It's not always important. If you don't have any question, don't manufacture one. Agar hai to dagiye.
Voice from my side.
Now, how to develop creative thinking?
क्या बताओ?
With creative thinking को कैसे develop करें?
Stand up with us.
एक तो how to develop creative thinking और अरे खड़े होने की जरूरत नहीं, देख लिया मैंने, लंबे हो.
Aisha, can you stand up with the mic and pass on the mic?
Yes, that would be helpful.
Aisha, stand up and pass on the mic.
Sir, how can we manage our stress?
बहुत सही, excellent.
Sir, how can we design our daily life, daily schedule for achieving our goals to be consistent?
So creativity, stress, and managing your time, right? मेरा टाइम सुन लोगे तो उसको कभी फॉलो मत करना. I get up at nearly 2:30 or 3 in the morning. ठीक है? Then I'm out for my walk or jog, and I paint from 5 till 8 in the morning in my studio. 9 I'm in the university. I'm back again around 6 or 7. Then I read. I sleep at 11. और आज से नहीं, when I was a kid, तभी से वो पढ़ने का शौक था. But anyway, I'll come back to this. So the first thing is how you develop your creativity. And I would also like to add, you have to stay curious always. Keep asking questions, right? Only dead people stop being curious. Ask questions. ये क्या हो रहा है? ये क्यों हो रहा है? And when you ask questions, then you would have an idea coming. You know, you start to reimagine something. कि अभी ऐसा है, तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है. That is reimagining something. An alternate existence or alternate paradigm. कि ये ऐसा क्यों नहीं हो सकता है? मार्क्स ने भी यही सोचा होगा कि यहाँ पर इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन के बाद मजदूरों का इतना एक्सप्लॉयटेशन हो रहा है. He would have reimagined a world where there was no exploitation, right? And then he comes up with a creative solution. He understands that, you know, this exploitation is possible only because the means of production is in the hand of the very few, one individual or 2 or 3 people, the capitalists or the businessmen. तो जो means of production को अगर हम बांट दें लोगों में, जमीन हो, मशीन्स हो, ये सब की हो गई, ये कम्यून की हो गई, कम्युनिटी की हो गई, किसी एक इंडिविजुअल की न रही, तो क्या होगा? उसका जो एक्सप्लॉयटेटिव एजेंसी जो है वो खत्म हो जाएगा. So that is the reimagined truth. So that is how you would stay creative. Creativity is not about painting or art. That is an expression कि हमने जो सोचा उसको दिखाया, right? It could also be, for instance, I've always looked at Marxism or communism or Gandhi's non-violence or Buddhism as designed products. These are designed ideologies or philosophies. So keep asking questions, stay curious, keep reimagining, and if you keep pushing yourself and stay connected, it's only then that you get your spices, masala. कुछ आप पका रहे हो, क्रिएटिव कैसे होंगे? जब आपने तमिलनाडु का भोजन किया हो, जापान का किया हो, थाईलैंड का किया हो, केवल अपने ही घर का खाना खाते खाते क्रिएटिव आप नहीं हो सकते, because that is all that you're doing. It's like being a frog in a well, and you can imagine how creative could a frog become. कितना होगा? इधर से छलांग उधर, उधर से छलांग इधर. उसने कुछ देखा ही नहीं, उसी के अंदर वो रह सकता है. But you have to broaden your, experiences so that you can get reference and information, to add to your creativity. The more important thing is something that works with creativity, and that is the critical thinking ability. Critical thinking क्या होता है? Creativity तो आ गई, मान लीजिए आपने reimagine कर लिया, idea आ गया, very novel idea. But how do you translate that idea into reality? करें कैसे? If there is a poet, you will get an idea. How do you communicate it? How do you put, for instance, जितने जो शायर लोग आते हैं, जो कवि लोग आते हैं, poets आते हैं, you think it comes to them? The idea or the शेर?
Sir, they have experience.
हाँ, experience ने आपको idea दे दिया. But its articulation, लिखना जो है वो कहाँ से आ रहा है? वो कवि दे रहा है थोड़े. That is the critical thinking. Which word should I use? How should I connect these two words? This word, not that word. How do I keep the rhythm? How do I spring the surprise. It's all rational and logical planning. यहाँ पर creativity और critical thinking, they come together. How do you create? You may have an idea about a building कि ऐसा हम बनाएं, मिट्टी का हो, जमीन से उठा रहे, वो बांस के खंभों पर खड़ा रहे, बारिश भी हो, समुद्र का पानी भी बढ़ जाए तो वो हमारा फ्लोट कर दे. आइडिया आ गया. How do you translate it? That's where you would need planning. That's where you would need critical thinking. कि नहीं, ये मटेरियल नहीं, ये तो गल जाएगा पानी. ये दूसरा मटेरियल, ये इसमें जंग भी नहीं लगेगा. It won't rust. So that is critical thinking. So make sure that with your creative thinking, you're also developing critical thinking. Managing stress. Even in midst of something not working, the way I look at it, I keep failing. But I keep telling myself that it's only a learning. Try to step back. एक पता नहीं किसने लिखा है, अहमद फराज है या जो, क्यों डरे जिंदगी में क्या होगा. कि पहले हम बहुत डरते थे, बाहर जाने से पहले, विदेश जाने के पहले हम जाना नहीं चाहते. क्यों डरे जिंदगी में क्या होगा. कुछ न होगा तो तजुर्बा होगा. That was something that made me see the problem in a new light. ठीक है?
एक बार रिपीट कीजिए इसको सर.
तो ये I think it was year 2000. I was about to travel to Toronto for a show of my paintings. But I didn't want to. Perhaps I was a little scared, of venturing out of my own comfort zone. And then I heard, this piece of music by Jagjit Singh. क्यों डरे जिंदगी में क्या होगा. क्यों डरे जिंदगी में क्या होगा. कुछ न होगा तो तजुर्बा. So this was something, which actually made me look at things very differently. I stopped worrying about, outcomes. Whether you feel that's also an experience, it's your experience. You have learned from it. That experience has made you richer. It has given you strength, right? And if you succeed, that's also an experience, but you know that there will be another experience. Nothing remains, nothing stays. All these experiences come together to make you stronger. तो stress कुछ कम हुआ तुम्हारा?
Yeah, it feels good to hear that.
Amazing. अब रही बात managing time. I think what you need to understand is how to prioritize. काफी चीजें हो जाती हैं जो आप करना चाहते होंगे, right? वैसा ही हुआ जब आप किसी डिनर पर जाते हैं शादी वगैरह में, तो सारी चीजें जितनी रखी रहती हैं आप अपने प्लेट में, right? So people do that. यार ये भी कर लूंगा, ये भी कर लूंगा, ये भी कर लूंगा. But then what happens? It creates, kind of a paralyzing confusion. ना आप ये खा पाते हैं, ना वो खा पाते हैं, ये तो छूट ही जाता है, वो रह जाता है. And that again, causes stress. So this is something that you need to practice. It doesn't happen, or it won't happen overnight. So you need to prioritize, and you need to also sequence, right, your tasks or the responsibilities that you have taken up, or all the things that you need to do. कि ये परसों भी हो सकता है, ये अगले महीने भी हो सकता है. अभी मैं कल की क्या जरूरत है उसको पूरा करूं. कुछ चीजें ऐसी होंगी जो हर दिन मुझे शायद आधे घंटे या 1 घंटे प्रैक्टिस करनी होगी. So create, a list of tasks. A few that could be deferred, a few that cannot be deferred, and you will start getting the hang of it. So don't get confused. Don't try to impress people. Learn to say no. Because sorry, ये तो अभी नहीं होगा. ये काम पहले मैं कर लूँ, इसमें फंसा हुआ हूँ, ये complete हो जाएगा. You need to close things. नहीं तो बहुत सारी चीजें खुली पड़ी रहती है ना, और बहुत ज्यादा ले लेंगे तो भूल भी जाएंगे. So only take up a handful of tasks that you can accomplish, tasks most important at the top, next important at the top, next to it, and so on and so forth. So that would be a very simple, I think, way of managing your time.
Sir?
Managing your stress, being creative, as well as, critical thinker, problem solver. Okay?
Sir?
Please.
So we procrastinate things, right? How can we work with that? Like, I want to help procrastinate, and I do, but I can't do it. So.
कल जवाब देते हैं यार.
Right.
सुनने का है. Or I did it.
Innovation.
Right? So procrastination could be there, for many reasons. Maybe you don't have the tools. If you wish to cook something, and then you discover that you have namak hi nahi, and let me do it tomorrow. So there is a proper reason for it. The other reason could be that there is a show coming up, maybe I would like to watch it. The other could be interview ke kal mera hai, prepare karna hai. Acha karte hain thodi der mein, let me, get in the right mental state. So it could also be out of fear. So you just need to understand why you are, procrastinating. Good reason, fine, you can't help it. But are you hiding from something? No point, because you have to deal with it anyway. The sooner you deal with it, the better. है ना?
Yes, sir.
तो यही छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं. तो लगता है कि सवाल हो गए. अरे
Yes. बोलिए.
Sir, what is the best thing you have experienced in your life?
Best what?
Best thing, best success.
What's the best thing you have experienced in your life?
कहाँ से तुम सवाल को पूछ कर ला रहे हो? Best thing that I have experienced in my life, I don't know, because I think I've lived for a couple of years more, so I can't. Thus far, okay. I have always drawn my energy, while being with young people, or when something, I'm experiencing something new and powerful. It could be trekking in the mountains, or fishing in a boat with fishermen in Goa. रात में 12 बजे उनके नाव पर बैठ करके मछली पकड़ रहे थे, and there were dolphins all around. So अजीब चीजें. Reading is something that I really enjoy. As a kid, I was obsessed with reading, and I used to do it all the time. I was obsessed with cricket, with chess. I used to play with chess with my father and his father's friends. Music, I have been obsessed with music. कितना चीज से obsessed. So ये सब करते रहना. I just can't be sitting still. तो इसमें बहुत मजा आता है. नई चीज कीजिए, नए अनुभव, नए new experiences. Right? So that is what I'll keep coming back to. हमेशा डरिए मत, घबराइए नहीं, फेल कीजिए, मगर बढ़ते रहिए और चौड़े भी होते रहिए.
So how to set a goal, like you have that thirst for that goal to achieve, like how to get that productivity at some point in your life?
तुमको माइक की जरूरत है भी, तब जोर से.
So at some point you don't know what you have to do in your life. So how to set that goal, how to get that productivity?
आपने अपना चेहरे का भाव भी प्रश्न ही की तरह बड़ा संगीन बना रखा है. When you perhaps are at a loss for a purpose, that will be quite a problem when you don't know what to do. So it could be something that could happen maybe for half an hour. I don't know where to go or what to do. I'm getting bored, right? But it will be a huge problem if an individual loses the purpose for living, right?
Greetings everyone. It's Aisha from grade 10th B. So as you all know that.
A bit louder.
So as you all know that last year I had created a video. I'll make you remind that art video about the mental health and all. So I hope you remember that. So what was the reason behind that? So actually, it's not about that I made it like randomly. So I had experienced that thing. So I expressed my feelings. I wrote a poem on that, and I expressed my feelings in front of you, so that you guys would get to know about mental health and prioritize your mental health.
Be
So
empathetic towards
exactly, yeah. So first thing, as Sir has told us, you should be empathetic. You should, share your love towards the people, like, whether they are experiencing depression, anxiety and all that or not. So you should be empathetic, you should share your love and humanity and so I hope that you guys had come to know about mental health when I had acted that last year, and I hope you have understood a bit of that, and I hope you will prioritize everybody's mental health and help them out, share humanity and empathy. Thank you.
I'm really sorry for that. Really thankful. My takeaway, for that matter, I should say our takeaway from your talk, I have actually taken notes. Stay curious, stay imaginative, and stay connected, as that is when you get spices and be creative. Then you can broaden your experiences to add to your creativity and critical thinking. It is the ability which is crucial to translate that idea into reality. One more thing, sir. Definitely, I will try to inculcate this thing. It is only dead people do not ask questions. Dead people do not ask questions. Thank you so much for this enriching and enlightening talk. Now, I would like to welcome Varsar on stage and express his thoughts about the talk that we have here. Please, a big round of applause.
ये न मेरा स्टेज है न मैं कुछ कह सकता हूँ। अलबत्ते मुझे बहुत ही खुशी की बात है, गौर साहब, मीर साहब, अगर देखिए यही तो तालीम है। बच्चों को जितने भी इंटरेक्शन हो, खासकर जब राजा साहब ने मुझे कल कहा, मुझे 1 मिनट भी नहीं लगा, क्योंकि जब राजा साहब कहते हैं मेरा ऑलरेडी। हकीकत ये है कि मैं चौबे जी से कहूँ कि इस वक्त मैं जब यहाँ बैठा हूँ और हमारे 2 केस हाईकोर्ट में लगी हुई है, कमिंग अप, और हमारे सीनियर काउंसिल आफ्टर लाइन, आप समझ सकते हैं कि हमारा जहन कहाँ रहता है। तो जनाब यही चीज़ है जो क्रिएटिविटी के लिए सबसे बड़ा खतरा है। जब गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज एजुकेशन के बारे में रिवर्स कंट्राडिक्टरी हो तो बड़ी दिक्कत होती है। उन हालात में हम चौबे जैसे हजरात को, पर्सनैलिटीज को सलूट पेश करते हैं। आपने कनेक्टेड कॉलेजेस, और तकरीबन इंडिया का कोई भी ऐसा बड़ा स्कूल नहीं होगा जहाँ मैं किसी न किसी शोर में गया हूँ, बिकॉज आई एम सो मैनी जो पॉलिसी मेकिंग बॉडीज हैं ऑन एजुकेशन इन प्राइवेट सेक्टर, नॉट इन गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर, मैं उनके साथ जुड़ा हुआ। आपने देखा हमारे बच्चे, और वैसे भी राजा मुजफ्फर साहब मेरी बात को सेकंड करेंगे, और मेहनाज जी अच्छी तरह जानते हैं क्योंकि उन्हें हायर एजुकेशन में भी टाइम दिया है कि गुजरात और कश्मीरियों का IQ लेवल तकरीबन सेम है, एंड ये थ्रू इंडिया गुजराती और कश्मीरी का IQ लेवल माना जाता है कि सबसे ऊपर। मुझे तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि खासकर मैनेजमेंट का। जब मैंने मेहनाज जी से सुबह बात की तो पहली बात मैंने कहा कि क्या 11 बजे प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट हो रहा है, बिकॉज हमारी टाइमिंग भी कुछ ऐसी है जिन हालात में हम हैं इस वक्त कि किस वक्त प्रोग्राम हो, कब क्या प्रोग्राम हो, रास्तों की हालत, जाम की पोजीशन, ये बहुत सारे जो फैक्टर्स हैं। और खुशी ये है कि जब हायर एजुकेशन से लोग इन स्कूल एजुकेशन के बच्चों से बात करें, वही मैं डिज़ाइन थिंकिंग मानता हूँ। बिकॉज यूनिवर्सिटी में आप किस पे काम करेंगे जब आपके पास स्कूल का प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, जब स्कूल से प्रोडक्ट तैयार होगा नहीं, जब उनको मालूम नहीं है क्रिएटिविटी क्या है, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग क्या है, जब उनको मालूम नहीं है कि हमें किस दिशा में जाना है, हमें करना तो करना क्या है, तो सीधी सी बात है यूनिवर्सिटी में आपके पास वही प्रोडक्ट आएगा। और आप यूनिवर्सिटी का जो मैं प्रोफाइल देख रहा हूँ, आप चौबे जी, मैं कभी सोचता हूँ कि कितनी बदनसीब सिचुएशन है, हाउ अनफॉर्चुनेट इट इज। हमारे फादर्स हुए, हमारे लीडर्स हुए, जब उन्होंने IITs की दाग भी डाली, इसरो की दाग भी दी, यूनिवर्सिटीज़ की दाग भी उन्होंने डाली, और आज हम देख रहे हैं कि आज हमें रिसर्च यूनिवर्सिटीज़ बनानी पड़ रही है, जैसे आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी, आई बिलीव इट्स रिसर्च यूनिवर्सिटी। इसी तरह से मैं सिर्फ 4 दिन पहले ही एक रिसर्च यूनिवर्सिटी में गया था, शुली, इट्स इन सोलर, वहाँ मैं गया था। बड़ा अच्छा मुझे लगा जो बच्चों को डे 1 से ही रिसर्च के लिए तैयार कर रहे हैं। आपका चूँकि फील्ड है, इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत भी है, खासकर आर्किटेक्चर में और दूसरी चीज़ों में, जो मैं आपके वो प्रोग्राम से भी देख रहा था। इन बच्चों को आज से जब इन चीज़ों के बारे में जहन में होता है तो दे स्टार्ट डेवलपिंग, और यही टाइम है जब बच्चों के जहन में ये चीज़ें देखिए जो है इन चीज़ों के बारे में जानकारी दी जाती है। तो बच्चों, अब आपके साथ एक ही वो, एक तो आप आगे यूनिवर्सिटी का प्रोफाइल देख लीजिए, है ना, फिर आप आज से ही क्रिटिकली आप सोचना शुरू करिए कि इसमें क्या क्या करियर्स हैं, है ना, और ये भी देख लीजिए कि कौन सा बच्चा आगे से इस फील्ड में तैयारी करेगा। आज मेहनत जी, आपको भी मालूम है कि हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ा इस वक्त मसला है कि बच्चे किन करियर्स में जाइए, ये किस बड़ा इशू है, क्योंकि हर एक जो है करियर्स के बारे में बात करता है, लेकिन इसके ताल्लुक से जितनी इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए, जितनी क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग होनी चाहिए, और ये अलमिया है कि अभी तक भी इंडिया में कोई ऐसी यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं है जो करियर काउंसलिंग में बाकायदा वो डिग्री देती हो जिसकी इस वक्त ज़रूरत है। हाँ, रूटीन में तो देते हैं, सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स देते हैं, डिप्लोमा देते हैं, बट ओबियसली उनका जो है उनका उतना फ़ायदा है नहीं। ये जो आप जो NEP, ये अलग बात है कि जो है NEP पे हम उतना ज़्यादा काम नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, लेकिन NEP में तो यही स्टेज है, 9th 10th स्टेज, बल्कि 6th से स्टार्ट हो रहा है। तो मुझे खुश होगी, खासकर मैं यहाँ मोहन साहब भी बैठे, मीर साहब भी बैठे हैं, मैं ना जी, मुझे खुशी होगी अगर ये एज ए रिसर्च स्कूल डेवलप होगा, क्योंकि हमारे सिंगल स्कूल working in the direction of research and innovation. And now, NEP के आने के बाद, the main focus is on research and innovation. If you don't do research, you don't do innovation, you can't compete at any level. जो कि हम आने वाले हालात जो हमें बता रहे हैं, कहते हैं ना कि जो आने वाले हालात होते हैं, जो लोग उस पर नजर रखते हैं वही जिंदगी में कामयाब होते हैं। और आपको यकीन नहीं होगा, मैं खुद भी कभी हैरान होता हूँ। सिर्फ 10 दिन पहले, मैं नाम नहीं लूँगा, एक स्कूल में मैं स्कूल के प्रोग्राम में गया। अब जैसे महाराज जी ने अचानक मुझे बोला, मेरे चूँकि जहन में कुछ है नहीं, एंड आई बिलीव कि जो भी खुदा जहन में डाले वो आदमी को कहना चाहिए, इसमें तैयारी की ज़रूरत होती नहीं। 12th के बच्चों से मैं इंटरेक्ट कर रहा था और साइंस के 18 टीचर वहाँ थे फ्रॉम फिजिक्स एंड केमिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट में। मैंने सिर्फ उनसे एक बात पूछी कि मुझे बताइए न्यूटन की उम्र उस वक़्त क्या थी जिस वक़्त उसने लॉज ऑफ मोशन की। डू यू नो, एक टीचर भी मुझे नहीं कह पाया, एक बच्चा भी नहीं मुझे नहीं कह पाया कि न्यूटन की उस वक़्त उम्र क्या थी। हमारे चौबे साहब ने इस वक्त जो न्यूमरल्स की बात की, आपको ये भी मालूम होना चाहिए कि मोहम्मद बिन मूसा अल ख्वारिज़मी was a Persian mathematician, and then Al-Kindi, the Arabian mathematician, उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन देख लीजिए, ये इंडो अरेबिक नंबर्स में देख लीजिए, दे पॉइंट कितने टीचर्स ने अल-किंदी और अल-ख्वारिज़मी को पढ़ा होगा, और फिर वो इंसाफ क्या कर पाएंगे इन सब्जेक्ट्स के साथ। मैंने न्यूटन की बात क्यों कही? चौबे जी, आज तक ये रिसर्च भी नहीं हुई है कि जहाँ पे न्यूटन के बारे में कहा जाता है कि उसने कहा कि सेब नीचे क्यों आया, ऊपर क्यों नहीं चला गया। आज तक ये रिसर्च नहीं हुई कि क्या उस इलाके में सेब थे भी कि नहीं। और ये पूरी सोच के साथ, क्योंकि जितने हमारे ऑथर्स हैं, जिस डायरेक्शन में किताबें लिखी गई हैं, जिस डायरेक्शन में पढ़ाया गया है, कहीं ना कहीं उसमें ये खामियां रही हैं। तो वनिक ताम चीनी रिसर्च के मतलब रिसर्च स्मूथ कि ना आई लीव इट टू मैनर्स, आई लीव इट टू दीस किड्स हैव ए रिसर्च कि जब ये कहा जा रहा है कि न्यूटन ने देखा कि सेब ऊपर क्यों नहीं जा रहा है, नीचे क्यों रहा है, क्या वहां पहले सेब थे? और फिर उसी अचानक एक ही दिन में उसको ये सवाल जहन में क्यों आया? इसी के साथ मैं आपसे इजाजत दूंगा। बहुत बहुत
Thank you so much, Vasu, for your precious words. Now I would like to call Raja Muzaffar sir on stage to enact himself.
Thank you so much. I'm highly grateful to Professor Chaubey, who has accepted my invitation coming all over from Ahmedabad to Kashmir. It was really inspiring, sir. Really inspiring. Because we have I don't think there are any universities who are directly reaching out to students. School, मतलब यूनिवर्सिटी डायरेक्टली स्कूल को रीच आउट नहीं कर रही है. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द few universities I can say in India which is reaching out to schools and catching them young. कल हम बात कर रहे थे सर के साथ, हम जब ये एयरपोर्ट से निकले वो डायरेक्टली वेंट टू शोपिया, रिमोट एरिया ऑफ शोपिया. वहाँ पे एक स्कूल में हमने प्रोग्राम किया था. इतना जबरदस्त मतलब इंटरैक्टिव ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग, क्या क्वेश्चन कर रहे थे बच्चे, कितना टैलेंट हमारे पास है, पर अनफॉर्चुनेटली इस टैलेंट को हम कैच नहीं कर रहे हैं. इनकी हैंड होल्डिंग नहीं हो रही है, इनकी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग नहीं हो रही है. So we need to think over it. अब नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी भी आई है, उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें. So when we came back, we went to a family who are basically from Srinagar old city and they are into this kani shawl making. Kani shawl है ना, kani shawl बना.
Yes, sir.
7th generation. मेरी बात समझ आ रही है? 7th जनरेशन को याद है. उनकी 7th जनरेशन आज ये काम कर रही है. फयाज है, माजिद है, they are all post graduates. I was so impressed that एक छोटा बच्चा था 3 साल का, वो बोल रहे थे ये भी हम इसको भी यही सिखाएंगे. इसके लगती बनाए थे क्या काल वापसी बम क्या को पंचे रखे अगर का कांद्र को बस करा कांद्र को सो पानी निजस कांद्र का नेशना माचे. हमारे पास इतने ट्रेडिशनल शेफ्स यहाँ पे श्रीनगर में थे. यहाँ वाजुपुरा में ओल्ड सिटी में उनके बच्चे डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर बन गए. उन्होंने अपना काम छोड़ दिया और जो उनके नौकर हुआ करते थे तिलेल से गुर्रे से लाते थे, आज वो सबसे बड़े शेफ बन गए हैं. कोई काम बुरा नहीं होता है, कोई काम गलत नहीं होता है, हमारा जहन गलत है. मेरा एक दोस्त MBA है, छोटा लड़का है, उसने नौकरी भी की, बिजनेस भी किया. फाइनली ही केम इनटू बेकिंग. उनका जबरदस्त बेकरी यूनिट चल रहा है और आज वो मुझे बोल रहा है मैंने 15 साल जाए किए, 15 साल मैंने जाया किए. काश मैंने उस वक्त बेकरी का कोर्स किया होता 10 साल पहले. काश मैंने बेकरी का कोर्स किया होता. मैं कितना बड़ा आज बेकरी का मैं लीड लाइस को भी पीछे छोड़ देता, क्योंकि उसको पता चल गया ये क्या चीज है. Now he is taking up online courses in baking. बेकरी में ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज कर रहा है और विद इन 1 ईयर उसने कितनी तरक्की की है मुझे पता है. और वो वही मटेरियल इस्तेमाल करता है जो लीड लाइस यूज करता है, जो जस्ट बेक वाला यूज करता है, सेम मटेरियल यूज करता है. उसकी कुकीज मैंने जब एक बहुत बड़े इंडस्ट्रीज को दी, 600 ट्रक्स है उसके पास. उसने बोला मैं दुनिया में अमेरिका भी गया, मैंने ऐसी कुकीज कभी नहीं खाई. कितना टैलेंट उसके पास था, एक्सप्लोर नहीं हुआ ना. कल हम शोपिया में डिस्कस कर रहे थे और पेस्टिसाइड्स, कितनी तबाही पेस्टिसाइड्स ने मचा के रखी है. 13 स्प्रेज हमारे एप्पल ऑर्चर्ड्स में. बट पीपल इवन डोंट थिंक दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम एंड दैट्स द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम. व्हेन वी डोंट डू क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस, जब हम प्रॉब्लम को प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं समझ सकते, दैट्स अ बिग प्रॉब्लम. बच्चों को कल समझ में वहां पे आया कि 13 स्प्रेज ये भी कोई प्रॉब्लम है, पेस्टिसाइड भी कोई प्रॉब्लम है. अब उन्होंने क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग सोचना कि हम ऑल्टरनेटिव्स भी कर सकते हैं, बायोपेस्टिसाइड्स पे काम हो सकता है, कुछ ऐसे पेस्टिसाइड भी हम ला सकते हैं जिनसे कम इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. तो ये एजुकेशन है. IAS, IPS, सिविल सर्विस, IIT, मेहरबानी करके थोड़ा उसके बाद भी उसके आगे भी निकल जाइए. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. I think we all agree with you that there is a plethora of options out there. We need to actually understand our potential, and then only we can realize where we can shine. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to call Provost on stage and express his opinion. Sir, please. Provost. A big round of applause.
थैंक यू वेरी मच जनाब चौबे साहब, वार साहब, डॉक्टर राजा मुजफ्फर साहब, मैडम, मेरे चेयरमैन मीर साहब. मैं तो वैसे उस हद तक एजुकेशन नहीं हूँ कि मैं एजुकेशन पे कोई बात करूँ, लेकिन शौक है मुझे, मेरा पैशन है. मैं चाहता हूँ कि एजुकेशन हर लिहाज से जो इस वक्त अपग्रेड हो रहा है एजुकेशन, मैं चाहता हूँ कि ये जो स्कूल हमने बड़े शौक से यहाँ कायम किया है, ये इस मैदान में आगे बढ़े. तभी तो मैं जब भी मुझे कोई कहता है कि हम कोई भी फंक्शन करने वाले हैं जिसका ताल्लुक एजुकेशन से हो, आई गिव इट फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस. मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे बच्चे जितने भी यहाँ पर हैं, या मेरे खुद के बच्चे भी पढ़ रहे हैं, लेकिन आई ट्रीट ऑल द 1300 स्टूडेंट्स एज माय ओन सन. ऐसे ही बच्चे हैं जैसे मेरे मेरे ग्रैंड डॉटर्स है, ग्रैंड सन्स है, बिल्कुल दे आर ऑल इक्वल टू मी एंड आई विश दैट जो मेरा शौक है ये पूरा हो जाए। बहुत कम मैंने समझ लिया है जो चौबे साहब ने यहाँ कहा है बिकॉज ऑफ माई लिटिल नॉलेज, लेकिन बहुत खुश हुआ हूँ कि अगर मेरे बच्चे मुस्तफीद हो जाए तो ये मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी कामयाबी है। हमने यहाँ एक इनोवेशन के तौर पर कुछ चीज़ें कर रहे हैं हम जो हमारे समझ में आ रहे हैं, तो उसमें हमने यहाँ एक सब्जेक्ट के तौर पर लिया है ग्रीन कश्मीर क्लीन कश्मीर। ये हमारा एक मिशन है जिस पे हम काम कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें भी हम कुछ नए चीज़ें इजाद कर रहे हैं। अगर हम प्लांटेशन का ड्राइव ले लें तो इसको भी हमने एक अच्छे नए ढंग से मार्केट में लाया है, जो किसके हम गुमान में है। हमारे फॉरेस्ट के जो यहाँ डिपार्टमेंट है वो प्लांटेशन ड्राइव में लाखों पेड़ लगाते हैं साल भर, लेकिन नॉट रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड। उसका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 5% उसका रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड होता है। बट वी क्रिएटेड इन अ न्यू वे। हमने कहा कि हम एक बच्चे को प्लांटेशन ड्राइव में एक एक पौधा जाते समय उसको हाथ में थाम ले, गार्बेज के हमने मैसेज की होती है उनके ग्रैंड फादर्स को, जैसे यहाँ हमारे बच्चे बैठे हैं, कि आप को हम एक पौधा बेच दें आपके बच्चे के हाथ में, आप इन्हीं के हाथों से गड्ढा खुदाओ, एक फोटोग्राफ ले लो। आज फोटोग्राफ को बुलाना नहीं है, मोबाइल से एक फोटोग्राफ ले लो, अपने ग्रैंड फादर्स को, ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स को लाओ या अपने पेरेंट्स को लाओ, और ये आप किसी जगह जहाँ पर भी हो, वो आपका ऑर्चर्ड हो, आपका कोई सेफ प्लेस हो, आपका किचन गार्डन हो, वहाँ पर ये लगवा दो। तो हमने लास्ट ईयर में कोई 1000 पौधे बेचे हैं। आई एम श्योर दैट अगर 100% नहीं तो 90% से कम उसका रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड नहीं हुआ है। फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट गेट एस्टॉनिश्ड। मैंने कहा आपका जितने लाखों पेड़ लगाते हैं तो उसका बिल्कुल रिजल्ट अच्छा नहीं आ रहा है। वो लग ही नहीं रहे हैं, उस पर केयर नहीं है, उस पर कोई वो ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं। लेकिन हर चीज़ को हम नए तरीके से करना चाहते हैं। ये छोटी सी मैं बात कर रहा हूँ। तो इसी तरीके से जब मेरे डॉक्टर साहब ने कहा कि चौबे साहब आ रहे हैं फ्रॉम हैदराबाद, आई सेड ओके वेलकम, ये हम अहमदाबाद। तो मैंने कहा तो बहुत मेरे लिए बहुत खुशी है अगर आ जाएंगे हमारे बच्चे मुस्तफीद होंगे। आई एम हाईली थैंकफुल फॉर कि आप यहाँ आकर हमारे हौसला अफजाई की है, और उम्मीद रखूँगा कि आगे भी आप यहाँ आएंगे, हमें अपने तजुर्बात से रोशनास करेंगे। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Thank you so much, Provost. Now I would like to call our esteemed principal, Mehnaz Ma'am, on stage for vote of thanks.
I know you all are very hungry, so but I will not take much time. I have just gathered a lot of courage so I could pen down certain things, some lines for you, sir. So it's in a very funny way, but this is how, this is what actually innovation is. Before I will start off with this paragraph, I just want to give a very small introduction. Who am I? You know me as a principal of a corporate school. We call it as a corporate school. But when I landed into this profession, it was not that easy for me. I left a job of corporate MNC where I was earning 60,000 in 2019. And I was from one of the prestigious institutes of Asia, that is like XLRI Jamshedpur. And when I left that institution with this hope that I will get the package of 10.5 to 11.5 per annum, there were hopes because we were getting pocket money of 500, 400 per month. So my father used to send me 600 rupees per month because he was a very honest officer, and I belong to a very mediocre family, so not a very high-fi family. So I had only one thing, that I have to spend my whole month for, with these 600 bucks. It looks very, believe it when you see my face because I look very modern, but I'm not. It's by God's grace that God has given me this face, this color, maybe because of the nature, but actually what matters is this. I never gave up. My father wanted me to fight for the IAS because he was himself into administration. But I went for the XLRI Jamshedpur and I qualified ZAT, Xavier's Aptitude Test. That was not an easy thing. And that time one of the professors said that what has she done? My father said, "Pata nahi kya kiya hai, pata nahi kuch ZAT hota hai." And people out here were not aware what ZAT is. This is what Vasab said. So I cried and I cried in front of 55 people. I said, my father is such an ignorant. He is not aware about ZAT, and people are dying in Bangalore and Mumbai and Delhi, and they should they don't know how to crack 99 because in Excel and IIM Ahmedabad you should have a point of 99.9, and I was in 1998. That too, from a very small family where there were very less avenues where I could afford good books, good tuitions, good exposure, good material without internet. I've never said this part of story to anyone. And when I joined MNC as a scale 4 prudential manager, my father said, "Oh my God, now you are earning more than me." So I said, "I'm not proud of this." He said, "Why?" Because I never wanted to be this. He said, "Why?" Because now you are earning 52,580 rupees. 52,580 rupees in 2009 and 10, this is on record. And I was holding CP branch, Cannot Place, Delhi. It was a prime branch. You know what I was selling? I was selling insurance. And when I explained it to my dad, in front of Mr. Rajiv Agarwal, who was then the chief election commissioner, and he happened to be father's friend. And he said, "Tantrish is very brilliant." And my father said, "How?" Because she should be a journalist. She's a very good, fantastic orator. So my father said, no, we are from Kashmir, and I don't want my daughter to be exposed, and I want her to be a KS or an IS officer, and I want her to get married to an IS officer, and this is what I want. So Rajiv uncle said that, "Have you asked what exactly she wants?" Because she will run away. And this was my plan. That I will definitely move. I may ditch my father. But I could never gather that courage to ditch my father because once I left this place after my 12th, we were all together in the kitchen, and my father came with the holy book, and he said, now put your hand on this, that you will protect my respect. As a father, he was correct. Because he was not exposed. He was just an administrator, a white-collar officer with no exposure. Throughout his life, he had just earned money with 10 to 5 job, being very honest, no rishwat. That's what his life was. And he was from a very, you can say, my grandfather used to sell tea. So for a father like him, it was like a very okay question as a girl, that you will not do something which will bend my ways, and I do not want to blow my hat because you're the only girl, and I'm the only girl. Even after me also there is no girl who is out of Kashmir. I'm the only girl. Even my brother is not that educated as much as I am. He is very rich but not educated. So when I left that job, Rajiv uncle said, "Menas, you will be leaving 52,000 ka job, what will you do?" I said, "I will go to IIM Lucknow." You know why I chose Lucknow? I chose Lucknow because I wanted to see my Abba happy. Because my father said that I don't want you to be in Delhi because it's a very fast city and you are very pretty. And he said, my father said, "You're very pretty. I don't want you to be there, and the mahol is this. I want you to be in a certain place." So he was into geology and mining that time, my father. And he had many friends, Pandays. So Pandays are very close to me like Chaubey's. So my father said that if you want to study, then you go to Lucknow. I cashed it. Listen to me very carefully, boys and girls. मैंने इसको जब एनकैश किया, humid, hot, पसीना, simple city called Lucknow. when I entered Lucknow University में, I saw in XLRA Jamshedpur I had a batchmate who was from Russia, Zurich, who was from Ukraine, one from Afghanistan. Like, it was a different culture there. It's like an Harvard, you know it, sir. And when I entered into Lucknow, it was altogether